We are live. Welcome to our Set the Pace USA. We have one for Brazil too. So if you do speak Portuguese, that's one that we also do in Portuguese at 9 p.m. Brazil time. So it's now 10 a.m. in Hawaii. And it is 8 for, no, it's 12 for you, right,
Noon.
Christina? Noon,
Yep.
yes. And then Teddy's in Hawaii too. Hi, Teddy. Sweet. So every Monday, almost every Monday, we are here uh, doing this live slash podcast. So if you are listening to this podcast, you can also see it live on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. And you can interact with comments on YouTube and we can see them and reply to them on the live. And I show some graphics sometimes. And if you want to see those, just pop into one of those other platforms. All right. So for you to catch up a little bit, if you haven't been here with us, once thank you for being here, and I hope you get something out of it. That's the goal and the focus of this set the pace is it's Monday. You get to set the pace for what your week will look like, maybe what your month will look like. And this for me is my own reminder to get the week going strong. So today is a no school day for my children. And very much we can use anything as a way to not do something that you've committed to, right? And obviously, there is family time, there is social time. And we talked about that just before we popped on here. It's hard after Super Bowl. It's always going to be hard, right? And the topic of today is you almost did it, actually, right? I put it, you did it, but the actual topic is we're almost to the end of a 30-day challenge. And I do love challenges because when there's an end to it, and every time I commit to something, I kind of like, cool, I know it's going to end, right? But also because through challenges, I was able to set habits, to put myself into action and change habits and make habits better. And my performance got better. So it all started through challenges. And I remember the first time I did a challenge was a 30-day challenge at the hot yoga studio. Christina was there too. She's done them as well. We did a hot yoga 30-day challenge and I got hooked. That was the way that 30-day challenges changed the way I do everything. So, and that is our topic for today. So if you are doing the challenge, amazing. You kept up until now. You have 3 more days to just finish strong, cross the finish line. You're all winners. If you kept the challenge through the whole time, if you didn't, you can always come back and do it again. And you can see how much improvement you have made, even if you didn't complete the whole entire thing. So our challenge is focused on metabolic reset. And we do use a system called MetaPower. So me, Christina, and Teddy are partners with doTERRA. doTERRA is an essential oil company, mainly known, the largest essential oil company, but it is a wellness and performance company. I call it a performance company because for clients, that's what we focus on: higher performance. And for us who work and partner with the company, that's also what we do. We work a whole lot of mindset, and we are going to be touching on that today too. So first, I want to ask Teddy and Christina. They are in the challenge, and what has been your experience so far?
I'll go ahead and start. So I have to admit, yesterday was a challenge with Super Bowl, and I hosted, and I had a lot of non-healthy foods around. And but guess what? I started my day out with my veggie smoothie, my normal veggie smoothie, my pumpkin seeds in there, chia seed. I throw some lettuce in there, banana, blueberries. And, I still started my day out healthy, and I took the collagen and I took my recharge, the MetaPower recharge. And I will say I did indulge in some of the cheese dip, the cheese dip, and I had a half of a cupcake. Okay. But again, it's the end of the challenge. And, again, that's what challenges are for. Pretty much through the month, though, I've had no alcohol, didn't drink yesterday. And I don't know, alcohol's just not fitting into my schedule right now. Um, but I have been pretty good about that. And I have increased I decreased my fitness age. So I have a Garmin watch, which tracks all my activities and also tracks my sleep. And in the last week, the home stretch, I have decreased. I've gotten younger, and it seems like if I add cardio to it, and I started running the beach. So if I do that more often, it seems to, that's probably the algorithm that it draws from, so that it increases, it decreases my fitness age as I increase my cardio, because my cardio is pretty strong. I've got a really good VO2 max. For you guys that don't, if you know what a VO2 max is, it's the input of oxygen that your lungs can take in. And a lot of, athletes, they measure, people who do triathletes or ride bikes or whatever, they like to measure their VO2, max. And that has increased as I increase my cardio levels. So that's good news. And that's what MetaPower is. Metabolic health is about unlocking, all the keys to, not necessarily anti-aging, but just better quality aging. Like I'm starting to shift. I'm pro aging. It's okay to age, but I'm still gonna, do my regular activities that I like to do. I'll play pickleball and I'll surf in one day, same day, and keeping my energy levels up. I'll play golf, maybe, things like that. So every day I'm doing pretty much something physical, and that keeps me on my toes. So
nice. That's so cool. I don't have a fancy watch to show me anything, but
I
that's
want that
okay. You
watch.
don't need that. Because yeah, usually you can feel it too, right? When you're on these types of challenges and you're starting to make changes, you can feel it inside. So that's how it is for me. Um, I yeah, I've been able to get some movement in every day as well, which is always really good for many different reasons. But this past week, I've got in a lot more exercise and lifting because my dog had a surgery, so I have to carry her outside to go to the restroom. So that's a 55-pound dog that I get to carry around a few times a day, which is grateful for my meta power, right? So giving me the strength and energy to be able to do that. Um, I I made yesterday for our Super Bowl party. I was in charge of desserts, and so I actually made the chocolate mousse recipe that was
yeah,
shared with us, with the avocado and dates, and it was really delicious. So I was happy that we received that recipe, that I could share it with others so they could have like a no sugar option for their Super Bowl fun. But yeah, no, yeah, I was just saying that Super Bowl the day after is always a tiring experience trying to get up and go to school the next day. So I'm not in the boat where my kids have the day off. Some people have ski week this week, so cousins don't have school. So we got up and we got moving and we made it to school. So that's good. But yeah, the challenge has been awesome. I'm really happy that we all did it together, and that we stayed on track. And for those of us who did the plank challenge, that's been fun. I'm interested to hear like how many minutes people have worked up to. I'm only a minute and a half, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't go crazy for two. But but yeah, it's fun to do things as a group, right? Because then you feel like you're not alone in this new
accountable.
experience. And yeah, you've got accountability with people. And also, what I love about it is that for these things like MetaPower and the assist and things like that, is that different people take it at different times of the day and they can share that experience as well. And so when you hear those types of experiences and testimonials, then you think like, oh, maybe I'll start to try out this time of day and doing my advantage. So it's cool in that respect too to be a part of a group challenge. So yeah, it was great month.
I love it. I love that you can measure how you age, and at the same time, like you said, Christina, you don't need a gadget for it, but you can simply, I'm gonna even share this, you can simply feel, right?
Yeah.
And this is a vitality assessment that is just very simple, but it's something that you can, and this can be considered also kind of like journaling and an exercise of self-awareness. And one of the the keys, I think, for me, I talk a whole lot about high performance now, and I think it's just an easy way for us to describe it. But it's basically a growth mindset that you're always bettering yourself. You're always going for, if you can't do it, why not, right? If I can, why shouldn't I? So, and I think one of the things that also has helped me a ton was journaling and the whole practice of self-awareness, right? And through journaling and meditation, I used to think, oh my gosh, who has got time to sit down and start writing, right? But you know what? It takes 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. It's just 10 minutes. And what helped me with was that like little nagging doubtful voice inside my head that, it's not my friend. And that really helped me identify the negative thought patterns, that brought mindfulness techniques a little bit more to be present in my life. And that's when I fell in love with sound healing. And that's actually where we offered this here on the island once a month, in person, and everybody's welcome. So the next one is going to be Sunday on the 18th. And so all these techniques, right? One of them being you doing this practice of self awareness, doing a vitality check is a practice of self awareness. So then you know what's going on, because simply by feeling, you can measure how you're aging. You can see it, you can feel it. And here it says, my sleep is satisfying and I'm up feeling super rested. I live life free of chronic aches and pains. I have strong immunity function and resist getting sick. I'm emotionally balanced and not stressed or anxious. I have energy and vitality throughout the day. My mental focus and memory are quick and sharp. My skin and hair are healthy and beautiful. So this, ideally, right? You want to answer. So the options for answers are never me, seldom me, sometimes me, often me, always me. So if any of those, obviously it cannot be always me all the time, because there's always going to be, life happens, right? It's so easy. I was talking to a friend of mine this past week, and he was like, we know what we need to do. We know that we need to get enough sleep. We know we need to exercise. We know that we need to eat healthy. We know we need to drink water. We know we need to do mindfulness practices. But the truth is, life happens, especially for moms, Christina, like just getting the kids to school and they're fed, that's a big win a lot of the days, right? So, and then adding everything else on top. But then if you do it, that task becomes easier. That's why I think I'm so in love with high performance. So one of the ways that I guide people to get that high performance mindset is to first establish a routine. And that's why I'm in love with challenges, because you establish a routine, even if it's one thing. So our challenge was one tool or two. You choose which ones you can do. But I also added some extra things on there. And a lot of the people did it. So we had a plank challenge every week that went up to 3-minute planks at the end of the challenge. We had a meal plan for 30 days. They had a grocery list, they had recipes with it. We brought different professionals to talk about different topics. And that is establishing a routine, the discipline, right? You become more conscious, more intentional. And that to me helped me a bunch. So I could set goals, define the goals, set the action, and then I could execute the plan. So doing that, I think is the first, for me, was the first step. And being clear with what I could do. So the 30-day challenge at the hot yoga studio, I knew I could do because I had already done it for a while, and it was intense, and it is intense. So I knew I could push myself. But a lot of people, they would start from 0 and try to go to 100. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. But you know why it works in settings that have community? Because of the accountability. So if you're doing a challenge by yourself, I mean, maybe it can be effective, but having that power of the community, I feel is the best gift, like for me is the thing that makes me do, that's the thing that makes me go. So get together with people to do it. Get in that mindset of community too. Um, and I know that it's a little intimidating to get to a new space and see new people, right? Especially after, I think there's an age thing too. After a certain age, you're like, I've made my friends. I talked to a lady in my building, and they're a little bit more experienced in life. They have more years, and she was like, yeah, we get in that mindset. But she's super open. She's like, I love making friends, and she's in her 70s. And I think that openness is what really generates opportunities and so on. So lots of takeaways for me this weekend. I thought I had some amazing talks with people. So this is the assessment. Take a screenshot of that so you can maybe use that for yourself or share with somebody that might enjoy this type of stuff. I feel like every human being should enjoy this because you're learning about yourself. You need to take this body everywhere, right? And another thing that I have here to share with you is, let's go a little bit over to what we did on the challenge and why we did it. So the Metapower system was developed a few years ago. Actually, it took almost 4 years for it to come on the market after research and after collagen became super popular. And we just didn't want to put any collagen out there just because it was selling, right? That's what a lot of companies do. It's selling, let's just put a white powder out there and slap a label on it and do the marketing, because marketing is a beautiful thing if it's used for amazing things, and it's an awful thing if you're using for those beautiful commercials on TV that make you take things that might make you die. So it can be both, right? So because
Super
of
Bowl. I like all the Super Bowl commercials.
I don't watch. I don't know what I'm terrible. I'm Brazilian and I love soccer. So, but my husband is American and grew up in Kansas, so he's a super sports guy. And so I get to see a little bit of his excitement, but not to sit in front of the TV. But I'm excited for the Chiefs, right? Chiefs that won.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah, he was talking about how Taylor Swift is going to become a lucky charm now.
Mr. Swift's team won.
Because they won. Oh my gosh. So going back here on the Metapower system, I was part of the test group. So there were 200 people that got to test the system for a month. And for me, the timing could not be any more perfect. I really needed it at that time, not for physical reasons, but I needed to get my mind back on track. So I had gone through big changes. We moved to Brazil back in 2000, started the move back in 2016 to 17, going to Brazil a lot because we were bringing doTERRA to Brazil. And that was a big commitment. So then we decided we were going to live in Brazil. So we moved to Brazil, whole family. And that was a huge commitment. And we did it. And we planned to stay there until last year, but we had to move earlier because of the pandemic. So all of that and so many other details that goes into this story, we literally moved our whole life to Brazil, furnished home, everything they can possibly think of, like kids school and all of that. And once we were settled, Sebastian was born in Brazil. He was 4 months old when the pandemic hit, and we got stuck in California because we couldn't come back to Hawaii nor go back to Brazil at that time. So it was really stressful. So we had to navigate through that whole new scenario, living in California now and trying to figure out life with everything else up in the air. So then after those 2 crazy years, I got the call from corporate and they're like, hey, do you want to test this system? And at the point, I was like, a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little bit jaded. I was like, here we go again, right? Because I thought, I don't think there's anything right now that can totally get me out of this funk, but sure, let's do it. And to my surprise, first day, when I took this little packet here that I just took before we right after we started, this is the MetaPower Advantage. So our challenge was based on this little guy right here. Okay, so it's a small little package, 6 grams inside the sachet, and you take it. I take it just a little water in my mouth and then put it in my mouth. But the right way to take it, there's no right way technically, as long as you get this stuff inside of you. But you put in a little bit of water, just about 4 ounces, like a shot, cold preferably. Mix it up and shot it. Okay, and just take it as a shot. So I didn't know that there was this whole world of metabolic health. I didn't know that metabolism is connected to everything, everything that you do. It's connected to your energy, to your weight, to your mood, to your sleep, to your mind clarity, to your stress levels, right? So that made sense. And then I learned about NMN and NAD plus, and then Dr. Sinclair, and then Teddy fell in love with that too. So she tells the story about the rats to everybody, which is the test that Dr. Sinclair did with 2 mice, and one of them was like running on the wheel like Teddy, like super young, and the other one's like dying, you know, like super, like not mobile at all,
It
like a
was it would
country's
run and
president.
then stop. It would run and then stop. Run and then stop.
Yeah, yeah, and so that was such a gift. And then I knew that there was something to the system. Then I thought, oh my gosh, what if, because we've been working with teaching people how to lower toxicity in their homes, lowering toxicity in their bodies. The reason being is to declog your system in your life so your body can work better, so your mind can work better. That was the whole thing, right? It's been and it's always going to be. But essential oils are beautiful, but they're very complex. And it does take time for you to get the hang of it, to know exactly what to do. So I remember my first days of working, of being a customer with doTERRA, I would kind of send messages to my friend who helped me get started as her client. And I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to ask her every single time. I have to, do something. But then at that time, there was not a whole lot of information online. So what we have now, I feel like you really can find all your answers and kind of get a gist of what you should be doing just by really looking at the people that are doing it, especially through social media can be also an amazing tool, right? We're here doing this through social media. Same thing with the marketing stuff. Some can be great, some can be awful. So just know who you're looking at and, taking advice from. But for the most part, we've been here over a decade now. And that part, I feel like we never master anything, but I dominate what I do with my lifestyle, with essential oils. Like you can give me any, we can talk about it. Right? I know properties, what they do, Christina as well, Teddy as well. We have a team of thousands of people that do know this stuff as well. And that is empowerment. We've been here for this long, and this nobody can take away from me or from any of us. So then going back to Meta Power, the reason why I'm making this comparison, which is not a comparison, it shouldn't be, but it is if you can take a little powder every day and you change the first day you take it, because I'm not exaggerating it. DJ was my biggest test so far because he's super healthy, right? His metabolic health is like up to par. And his third day, he was like, hey, my cardio performance went up. And he's like Ted, he measures things on his watch, right?
Yep.
So just that
like
and
me.
that. Yes, it's like you guys. You're
we like the data.
Yes,
we just like
and
the
high
data.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the high
I mean,
performance.
we can
and
feel
I think,
it. You know, we could feel it too. It matches the data usually. So.
And you look it. So you look at you, and you know that you live it. And you look at DJ, you know you live it. People ask me all the time, hey, what do you do for your skin? Where do you go to do your Botox? Right? I don't have anything against it. I don't do it.
I don't do it either.
But there's a way for you to do it naturally, and it comes from the inside. So I know that this little thing right here is a game changer, because I now over and over again, people that have been testing it, I have asked some friends, different ages, different body types. Some have had kids, some have not. Men, fit men, not fit men, sedentary men, and not sedentary men, and age like a little bit more advanced, like the kupuna. I had people in their 70s testing it out. So, and everyone, not a single person hasn't had a positive experience with it. So, and very young ones. I had the youngest one tested out for me. She's 23. So, and she's like, I can totally tell. And let me tell you, my nutrition isn't good, but the first few days when I took it, it cleared me out. And she thought, well, that was amazing, because I really felt like that's what I needed. My skin got better, like mood. So it's pretty incredible once you understand. Really, the slogan of our campaign is to live your most powerful life. And that is the whole idea of it. And our purpose here on earth, I truly believe it, is to be happy, right? And if you are living a life that you feel like, yes, I love this, I feel like this is it, like you're really living your most powerful life. Does that make sense? Does that resonate?
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For you, Christina, what was the biggest change?
I think, yeah, once again, just the getting back on track of movement and just healthy eating sort of a thing. Like I have mentioned before, I'm not the best at drinking water at the correct amount at all. I'm a coffee person. And then so better water intake, because always when I do my Meta Power, it kicks up the thirst in my body when my metabolism is moving, and my metabolism requires water, right? So that's just a body function. And yeah, and then again, it inspires me, my body, once it starts doing that. It's also makes sure I'm in check for eating correctly in terms of when, so I'll wake up starving, where I normally, like, it would be probably another hour or so before I ate in the day. And that would, for those of you, again, I'm in California, so that would be 2 p.m. that I would normally have eaten my first meal. So I'm telling you, like, it really, it really does change you if you just give it a chance, right? So yeah, I love
Yeah.
Meta Power.
I'm in the best shape of my
Yes.
life. And I
Yeah.
thought I was in the best shape of my life when I was in my 20s.
You know what? I have to say that too, because like my activity level is just, again, I'm amazed sometimes because I'll play pickleball. Like I'm a nut when it comes to activity. I have all these different hobbies, and sometimes I'll do all three in a day. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I feel younger in the mind and even in the body, so I definitely think it's a game changer. After I was excited to start taking it in when did it come out? September 2022. So we're actually, I'm like a year and a half into it. And yeah, I love the results of my skin, hair, and nails, clarity. And just like DJ mentioned earlier, the fitness, the recovery level is insane. It used to take me, and I know from running the beach here in Kailua, I like to run the beach barefoot in the sand. And prior to taking MetaPower, oh my God, it was such work trying to just go a football field distance in the sand. Like I'd be like, like just gasping for air. My body would hurt. Like my whole body would hurt, like as if I ran a marathon and I only went like a football field distance. So now here we are a year and a half later. And, actually last year I had a concussion. So I didn't run the beach for a whole year, because the side to side motion was not good for my brain. So when I started recently doing it, I'm super impressed with like just the distance I'm going, how I feel strong, and again, if you look at the data, according to my watch, like I'm in the red zone. I'm at the maximum rate. I can hold that maximum heart rate efficiency. And according to my age and whatever, I'm in the red zone for like 15 of the 25 minutes. And then, again, I like to look at the data just because in my mind, it makes so much sense to me. But again, like I feel stronger. I feel like I can run a marathon, but I don't need to run a marathon. I don't want to actually run them. I really don't want to run 26 miles, but I just feel again strong, and I feel like the stamina is there after using MetaPower for a year and a half for sure. So
That's
and
amazing.
I will say, I think I have missed maybe one day a month of taking that packet for, whatever reason, travel or whatever. Or by the time I remembered, it was like, bedtime, and I didn't want to take it too late, because I don't know how it's going to affect me. I feel like it might keep me awake. So, but yeah, on average, I would say I've just missed one day a month, which is pretty good. Taking it 29 days out of a month. It's about consistency and creating those habits. So
Totally. And as we talk about, I'm in the best shape of my life now, and you are in your 50s. I'm 39. Christina is also, we're the same age. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's see in 10 years, right? Let's see in 10 years what you're
yeah,
going to be like. And I'm
yeah,
I'm looking at Teddy going, that's it right there. In 10 years. That is totally what I am envisioning. And it is totally possible. And again, sustainable. It has to be sustainable. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is today I can say it's sustainable. And even, as you mentioned when we started, if you go off the path a little bit, you live life, you do things you
yeah,
want to do those things.
right.
Yes, I had my friends from Brazil here yesterday. They left last night, and yeah, we go out of the norm a little bit, and we go to bed a little later, um, and eat things that usually you wouldn't, but not this set of friends. Actually, it's kind of cool because she is a high, it's advanced nutrition is what she does, and it's all with high antioxidants and adaptogens. So her food is like magic, and we are business partners in Brazil, and she does her programs, and we do retreats in different parts of the world, and we're now launching here in Hawaii. So she was here, we were here for actually work through the weekend, and it's cool because also when we hang out, um, instead of maybe doing things that usually you use that as an excuse too, right? Like it can be decadent, it can be super delicious, like something Christina made, and still be good for you. There's also, we talked
Yeah.
about that last night, the companies now that make drinks that are non-alcoholic drinks, but they still
Oh
give
yeah.
you the vibes. You want to have the
Mhm.
experience, you want to feel it, right? You want to feel the vibes. I see people now that there's a whole thing around microdosing, And that's
Oh,
also something that is becoming very popular. And again, I feel that it's more like experiential experiences, so you can experience things. And for you to experience things, you must be able to feel it. And if you are all clogged up and numb and, just not feeling and open to having these experiences, and then you're not living your best life, you're not living your life to the fullest. As you were talking, Teddy, I watched this documentary. I think it was about this billionaire, Brian Johnson. I think, yeah, that's his name. And he like, if you see pictures of him before and after, is kind of like, whoa. There's these guys that did the experiment. They actually followed his diet, and they didn't do all the treatments that he does, because he spends about, I think it's 2 million dollars a year in things that are connected to anti-aging, right? So he's got the funds to do it, which is amazing. I would do all of it too if I could. But he does all kinds of stuff. But then he came up with this diet, and one of the things that he did talk about to this, they designed this to reverse the aging process and have optimal health. So it's basically very good, full of nutrition, antioxidants, foods. There's like a nutty pudding in there, olive oil, things that we know that are good.
are good.
But
Yeah.
one thing that struck me, and I was like, that is where I feel like is the thing that people need to know, and we need to do it. If you want to reverse aging or not age as fast, he takes, I think, over 60 pills of supplements a day.
Wow.
60. I'm up to 20. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
nuts, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell the difference. Like, I take them all and I can tell like things are different. So then people are like, oh my god, that's crazy. I would never do it. I'm like, if you felt really good, I think you would. So
And also, controversially or whatever, alternatively, there's so many people that take that many prescription medications a day,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So would you
Mhm.
rather take a supplement and do some proactive care, or are you gonna take, go down this rabbit
Yeah.
hole of death and disease and sickness
Yeah.
and have to take medicine to feel better? I
Yeah.
I would
I
rather do the supplements.
Yeah, I'm taking zero meds. And again, in my age group, in my circle of friends, there's more
Amazing.
than half. Yeah, more than half are taking. The big thing is thyroid.
Mhm.
Thyroid. And again, there are
Which is a
things that you can.
metabolic.
It's linked to metabolic health, exactly. So
It's the
again,
HPA axis, they call it. It's all
Mhm.
yeah,
connected, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
So what you
it's
produce
all
in your
it's
gut is
your gut
connected
into the brain. Yeah.
all to the
So
hormone balance. Yeah, it's all
yep.
connected. There's no way that you can. That's why it's interesting the way that we learn how to take care of our health, which we're not, is isolation of body parts. Hey, if it's in your head, let's take care of your head. If it's in your foot, let's take care of your foot. And it's like all the cells are like moving around all together,
Yeah.
all in the same
Yeah,
body, right?
we're a whole body. Yeah, it's a whole body. We look at the whole body. It's like
Yeah.
functional medicine, right? They're gonna, we're looking at the whole body as a picture, not just, one part. So
As it shouldn't look at just one part, right? I'm like, oh, my head's not working good. Let me take it off real fast.
yeah,
I'll use this later when it gets better. So it's
yeah,
like you're gonna walk around with it all day.
yeah,
It kind of makes sense, but then I guess common sense is not common. But as the more we talk about it, the more I think we can reach a little bit and plant that seed. And that was the talk we had last night as we were building up some programs. And that's the thing, what the mainstream media does is to teach, and they don't teach, they brainwash, because you're in alpha state as you're watching TV, right? So you're just taking everything in. So, and the information, as we know, once you start being a little bit more interested in how the body really truly works, everything, most everything that is out there, you're like, oh boy, right? um One of the things that I feel that people should know is, the vegetable milks that became super popular, they, the boxed ones that you buy at the store, they're awful for you. So, and then people might think, "Ah, I'm doing better, right? Because I'm buying this
Yeah.
type of whatever nut milk." And you look at canola oil or the vegetable oil that is one of
Oat
the
milk
fillers, and
or
that
even
blocks.
oat
Yeah, oat
milk.
milk is like that.
It's high in yeah, it's a
You might as well
glucose
drink sugar.
sugar. Yeah. Yeah, people are thinking that they're, doing great. Oh, they're at Starbucks
Yes.
ordering their latte with, not unsweetened, but I'll take oat milk. Okay. They
Yes.
just swapped. Yeah. It's like, you know, what's the lesser evil, And again, coconut milk, they say, is one of the healthiest.
Macadamia.
Yeah. And
But again,
macadamia,
it
right? Because it's
depends.
got the right oils. Yeah. It
Oh, it
depends.
depends what
Again, you
they
got to
put
read
in there.
labels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Read
gotta read the
labels.
label.
If it's got the
Yeah,
sunflower oil, it's not, not good,
I know.
right?
And I sometimes I'm like, oh, I just wanna like bang my head against the wall, right? Oh my gosh, no, it's bad, but it's cheap. Like, why is
I
it cheap?
know.
But it's bad. And then
Yeah.
I cannot unsee what I've seen. So then I'm like, gosh. Then I tell Luke, sorry, I know. So we're gonna have to go for the little pricier one. But then you know that you're not killing your kids a little bit at a time every day. So those choices are important.
Right.
And if you're not doing it for yourself, maybe you do it for your kid. And I think that's why a lot of us attract parents, because then you want to be better, you want to do better for them. So, but you should really truly
Yes.
do better for yourself, right? You should come number one. And so the metabolic system, so as we talk about products, right, we're like, oh, products, so here another product. But if it's a life-changing product that's easy and it's accessible, I feel like it's worth always talking about it. I feel I'm so passionate about MetaPower right now that anything is a joke, that in within our circles they're like, MetaPower. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was just about
Yeah.
to say that.
It's the solution to everything,
Yeah,
for sure. And I will say too, like I feel less because I'm pretty active. So I feel less soreness, in my muscles and joints as well. And again, I've had no hip replacement, no knee replacement or anything like that. I have all body parts, original,
that's great.
original, 100% original and natural. That's what I need, is a t-shirt that says 100% natural,
You
original
have
body
nothing
parts,
bionic.
nothing bionic. So far I'm knocking on wood, nothing bionic. So
That's great. But then again, technology is out there. We can use it for certain things. One of my friends did a double hip replacement just recently, and it was the best thing that she could ever done for herself.
yeah,
But also, as we reflect on it, because now she's doing all the regenerative, a little bit more aware of why that happened, because she's only
yeah.
in her 50s, so she's young.
Oh,
But that was
yes,
it wasn't
we're
sustainable.
young.
Yes.
We are
So,
young.
yeah, that the sustainability of what we're doing,
Yeah,
right? It wasn't
yeah.
sustainable. So, she's a trainer, did a lot of marathons, and it not
See,
necessarily happens to everybody, but in her situation, had
yeah,
kids, and I think osteoporosis is something you need to look at as we age. So, the more proactive you are, the better. Don't wait until it's damage control. I feel like as all that's why I'm so open to all the things that people talk about and show me in nutrition, anything to do with health. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. What biomats? I'll do it. I'll sit on it. What infrared sauna? I'm on it. Well, cold plunge, let's do it. Anything biohack connected, like gua sha, dry brushing. It seems to be so much, but then you get in your routine and it's like, hey, this is just life. You just do it as you go. And we're cold plunging on Saturday, by the way. So I want to invite everybody. I think we still have maybe like 5 tickets left because it sells out every time. And it's at the Hawaii Prince Hotel here in Honolulu. And sweet, amazing Legree trainer Joy Bitonio, she holds the event together with Jono, who is a 3 time Spartan race winner, and he champion, right? and he is running the cold plunge like he did the last time, and Joy is doing the partner session like a workout. So it will be a good Valentine's date. So husband and I are doing it, and if you are in Honolulu, you should come check it out. It's always amazing. And the event is also put on by Como Studio. That's where Joy teaches, and it's on the east side. It's in Kailua. So go check it out and have so much fun. And afterwards, you can have a drink. It's called Sweat and Sip. So you have your ticket includes a drink also and a super awesome swag bag. I'm one of the sponsors, so you're gonna get some incredible goodies in that bag as well from me. And so come Saturday at 10 a.m. So 10 to 12. And those are the types of experiences that I feel are what we should be doing, you know, that we
Cool.
need. Do some infrared sauna. Our studio here in Hawaii Kai is infrared. So I cannot sit in the sauna and do nothing, but that's just a Pam problem. You know, if we go in there together, we'll talk. But um, I cannot just sit there. So I do a hot yoga session and I'm there for 75 minutes. I need to maximize time.
It's
And my
cool.
car's
That's
charging at
something.
the same time.
Yeah, you do maximize your time. But I've noticed though that these types of places are opening up more and more. So of course there's the category of person who can afford to purchase these things and bring them into their home, which is awesome if you can. But if you can't, you should look around your community because there are several of these spas and studios opening with these infrared treatments and like for example, there's one near me. They do lymphatic drain massage, and so it's like these pants that fill with air and like massage and stuff. So it's very cool. Um, salt chambers, so you can sit there and get the ionic charge of the salt. So it's very important to kind of explore these other things and do the self-care because it's good for your body as well.
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel that the best investment is for me and my family is in our health. I think our biggest cost, well, besides housing here in Hawaii, especially, we it's food and wellness. That's
Yeah.
our main investment is in our health for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an investment worth investing.
If you have health, you have wealth. That is your currency right now. Is they say that health is your currency. So you are very rich if you have health and vitality.
Yeah, and you can be rich in all areas in all kinds of ways. This is a whole other topic that eventually we'll bring up here. You can be rich in many different ways, and I feel also um financially you should be able to have the things that you feel like, hey, I would like to invest this in this.
Yeah.
And for myself and my family, I think we should be able to do those things. Like we you deserve it. And I feel like we're gonna go out of this life not regretting a thing, like
True.
I've done it all. I'm gonna do it all.
Yeah.
Like anything that's gonna come my way, I'm like, yes, it's a yes. The answer is yes. It's always a yes. So first to close here, I want to share something that was shared with us back in 2022, and this is gonna give us an in to go into what we are going to cover next month, next week and through the month of March. And that's something that is a mission. And this is how we all started, which is teaching people how to cleanse and what we call detox, right? But the detox word is a little bit misused these days, but it is about cleansing and detoxing and giving a reset to the body. So we'll be doing a spring cleansing or spring cleaning also of your physical space, but also of your body, your temple that you carry around every day. So this survey came out in 2022 through the pandemic, right? And they shared with us, again, data, like Teddy likes the data. So talking about supplement usage in 2021, there was a high spike of supplements because of everything that we're going through. And so if there was something that was good that came out of this craziness, and we went through a real hard time through the pandemic as a like change family, right? But because we work with health and wellness, our company grew over 400% through the pandemic. But because money is not everything, it doesn't matter if you have a whole lot of money and you're not feeling good and your mind is not good and your life is crazy, right? And you're anxious. So, really, money is nothing when you don't have all of that too. So, then this was super nice to see because of the increase of interest, the change of us as human beings looking at, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take some vitamin C. I'm gonna go ahead and look at some zinc and vitamin D. You have like a huge spike here, the years of 2020 to 2021, and vitamin D, right? So people got their vitamin D levels checked. So I feel like right now we are much more open to learning about these things, because then it was brought to the forefront of what you needed to do for you to be able to be alive. And who would ever thought that you would go through a pandemic in this lifetime, right? Our kids will be talking about it, writing about it, like doing
Yeah.
history on it for the rest of their lives. And so talking about vitamin K and how people have become more aware of that. Now I'm gonna tie in the Brian Johnson thing, that did the diet, right, to reverse aging. He took 60 pills. He did show something that he has, that he sells, which are supplements. And I was looking at all the ingredients, and everything that is in their stuff is in
Uh-huh.
here for a
Yeah.
fraction of the price. Okay. Each of these supplements that I looked at, we did the math, it was about $500 a month. Okay. So if you wanted to do that type, and this will deliver everything for 89. So, and that's something that I need to tell people. We need to tell people about this. So this is a more convenient, efficient, and effective way for you to get what you need. And the reason why I love doTERRA too is I don't really need to do research on their stuff, because I know they have the technology to back it up, and also it's all clean. So clean
Yeah.
ingredients, transparency, and efficacy, because you want that to perform. Because usually we go through the natural route, and you're like, oh man, my hair looks awful. Because I used to use all that stuff, and then now I go natural, and it looks like it's a broom. So things like that I think we wanted to perform. So through the month of March, we'll be touching on breaking this package down a little bit more in detail. For anywhere, like we have astaxanthin in there, biotin, resveratrol, bromelain, all the antioxidants you can think of, green tea and turmeric, and there is ginger. We call it tummy tamer blend, enzymes, all of the things. There is omegas. The omegas come from small fish. We
Fish
have the
oil.
vegan version of it too. There's no heavy metals. It is chelated, iron, all of the things you can possibly think of, it's in there. So we're gonna break it down. And I love doing that type of stuff, because then you're like, oh, it's in there too. I didn't know that. And the amounts, you're like, oh, but this doesn't have as much as.
Yeah.
The amount is a myth too. It has to be the perfect amount, because otherwise you just pee it out. So it's just done in a way that is genius for us to be able to have it all bioavailable. Okay. So we'll talk about that next week. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And we'll go into your experience with the cleanse, because that's how I started in this journey. Was I did a cleanse with these products, and it was amazing.
Mhm.
Cool. So
Yeah, I love how
this is
doTERRA
time.
does that with the technology of the products. Like you were saying, they do all the research, and I feel like they're on the forefront of this cutting edge research. As you mentioned, for 4 or 5 years, they were making the Metapower recharge in the formula, right? It was already a formula, but then they made it better and more products. And now, since then, it's been those like a year and a half, 2 years. Now everyone's talking about these types of things, right? The NAD plus, the NMN, the mulberry, so we've got it. Like Pam was mentioning for the other products, like, so if you are exploring these options, if your doctor has told you, hey, you need to be taking some collagen for your joints, maybe you should explore doTERRA, because we have amazing, amazing options for you
Mhm. And
at a
it's
great
cost
price.
effective. And it's
Yes.
cost effective. So people are like, well, because the price is going to be so much higher. It's not. Look at it, compare it. And we'll talk about it through the whole month because it's all about detoxing and low toxing and getting ditching and switching, which we all should be doing. So we all should be doing from food to your laundry detergent. We should be looking at it. Um, I have very holistic people. It kind of baffles me. They're very holistic in everything. They teach about it, they live it, and then I go to wash dishes in their home, and the dish detergent is the blue one, like
Mhm.
Yeah,
that blue one. That
the blue one.
I'm like,
It starts with D.
I'm like, oh man, for real. Then you go drink
I
stuff
know.
out of it, and it smells like the thing. So, and
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
only that, like
Yeah.
you're drinking it. So little things like that, and we can do it in a fun way. And I did it, and I'm like, I cannot believe you have this detergent. I love you. I don't love this detergent.
Yeah.
But you're not being, oh my gosh, here she comes. Sometimes I might not be
Yeah.
invited to people's homes because they know I'm gonna do that, and I'm okay with that because this is my
Yeah.
mission. So I'm gonna keep doing this. I have good intentions. So and then they switch, and then the switch is awesome. And then afterwards they're like, oh man, I can't believe we just lived with it because it just becomes natural, right, for you, which is not natural. So we talked about the recharge, Christina. This is
Mhm.
amazing. This is the
It is.
only liquid electrolyte in the market right now. And it's kind of sad that we call it electrolyte because it's not just electrolyte, it's much more. That's why I put it there, much more than electrolytes.
Yeah.
So this
Just
is
like the
incredible.
collagen, just like the advantage. It's much more than collagen. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, it's plus. We have to emphasize again much more on
Much
steroids.
more. Yeah, that's why I put a little plus there, much more.
Yeah.
I had an experience last week. We had our friend's birthday, and they had these protein chips, and I ate them
Yeah.
thinking that they were healthy because I looked at the package and they
Oh,
look
yeah.
clean, but it was instantaneous. Like my stomach wasn't well. And then I had one of the little um, recharge in my purse. Like my purse is like a magician's hat with stuff that makes you feel good. So I just did this in a little bit of water, drank it, and boom, it did it. I was fine
Nice.
afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those oils help settle, that
Yeah.
ginger is going to help settle, peppermint. So
Too bad liquid IV is taken because
Yeah.
I
this is
know the name.
kind of like it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah, call it daily IV. This is my daily IV, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so do you want to leave a message for, or encouragement rather, for the people that are here 3 more days?
Yeah.
What
3
would you
more
tell them?
days. Might as well finish. You're already there, right? So just keep it going, and you'll actually probably feel like you want to continue after the 30 days, which I would encourage. But you've gotten this far, so keep up the great work, and see you on the flip side.
Keep on keeping on.
Yes, I love that. And I want to always bring up it takes time, to develop
That's true too.
everything. And that's the beauty of taking time, because when it takes time, it really means that you went through the process, and celebrate the small wins. So every day is a win. And if you fell off the wagon for Super Bowl, hey, get
Yeah.
right back on the wagon. Brazil right now is carnival, people. Like people are like
Aye.
great. They're probably drunk already.
Oh
It's not even
yeah.
6 o'clock, you know? and
Carnival. Yeah.
and it's just, you're gonna celebrate, you're gonna live life, it's fun. Do
Yeah.
it.
As you
Then
should.
get the
Yep.
tools, as you should. Get the tools, barrage your system with good stuff, you recover faster, and you're ready to go again, right? But don't do it every day. In Brazil they do it for like 7 days. And that's an experience that I tell people, go at least once, you gotta go.
For sure.
Okay, my sisters, thank you so much for your presence, your love,
you.
and sharing. And next week we'll be here with a full house because everybody will be back. And then Susanna and Marcos are going to share about their trip. Fran too, and TJ, they can share about their trip with us a little bit. It looked amazing. I was like living vicariously. Vicariously, how do you say that? Through them? Yeah. Yes, I loved it. Okay, my loves. I'll see you soon. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye.